guys, welcome to a new video after a long time, almost a couple of weeks or so. The World Cup fever is going on, so no more Chelsea matches at this moment. So though there are a lot of talking points with Chelsea, it's always going to be talking points with Chelsea. I don't think any other club has that much of talking point as much as Chelsea does. So yeah, before I start this topic, you guys have seen the headline, what this topic is all about. You guys know we're going to talk on Mason Mount. I'm going to say a little bit about myself. I've been a Chelsea fan for almost 25 years, and so I generally don't hate anyone who has put on the Chelsea shirt and played for us from the time that I've been supporting Chelsea, 96-97, that time, 1996-97. So I also possibly don't hate Mason Mount or anything. I go as per with the performance of a certain player, whether it's Mason Mount, Pulisic, Havertz. This is the recent times, or in the previous era as well, where so many players played and some even flopped, like Chris Sutton completely flopped at Chelsea. Many of you might not have heard of him if you're a newbie Chelsea fan, but if you have been here for long, you will know what I'm talking about. So I have never hated or disliked any player who has put on a Chelsea shirt. So same goes with Mason Mount, but I'm going to talk straight about how I feel about the whole contract issue and whatever we have heard about him. Now, what we have heard about Mason Mount is that he wants a long contract. He wants a contract over 300k a week, similar to what Sterling is earning. And he has rejected a contract of 200k, which Chelsea has offered him, which is the news. Again, I don't know if it's the real news or not, if it's a gossip, if it's just some news in the air, maybe not true. Now, the thing is, from my point of view, what I think has happened now, obviously Roman has left. Todd Bowley is a different man. He's a different owner. Certainly he's going to come up with some different plans of his. He believes in the American style of sporting. In America, in the US, they give long contracts to players, whether it's the NBA or NFL, hockey, ice hockey, that is NHL. They give long contracts to players. So Bowley is trying to do something similar. They want to tie down a player to the franchise for a long period of time. In football, in European football, that is not done. It's normally 3 years, maybe 5 years. In recent times, Kepa was the only guy who has been given a long contract, 7-year contract, I guess, when he joined Chelsea. And at a time, it felt that it was a wrong decision made because Kepa was really not good for a good period of 2 seasons. This season he was looking good, but he got injured, so he's not playing for Spain in the World Cup. Otherwise, he looked good. But when these guys, normally long contracts are not that long in football. Football has 3-5 year contracts. I remember a long time back, in this 10, 15 years, 20 years back, players used to be given 5-year contracts. Nowadays, I see a 3+2 or a 3+1 year extension, kind of contracts that are given. Keeping that in mind, Mason Mount has been given a 7-year 200k contract, which is a lot of money. He is 23, 7-year would take him to 30 years old. He is known as the poster boy of Chelsea, whether you like it or not. So things are that that's a very decent contract. If he has rejected that is kind of interesting. He has 18 months to go for his contract to end sometime in 2024. June of 2024. Now, what I think about the whole situation. Now, I personally think long contracts might sound and work well in American sports. It certainly doesn't work well in European sports. You don't know the up and down of a player. Even in American sports also, it might long run doesn't work. I mean, because the wages are really high in American sports, I guess that's why they had to tie a player down to a franchise. In European sports, especially in football, it's not a good thing, because what if you have a Dele Alli kind of a situation? A Dele Alli kind of situation is where a player does so well at the age of 19 or 21 and then completely falls apart, and Dele Alli is hardly 26. And Mason Mount, and I don't want him to be like the next Dele Alli, his form has not been great this season, and though he has been selected almost every match by Tuchel, by Potter, and now for Southgate for England, so which is the good sign for him, but otherwise his form has not been good. Same goes for Kai Havertz for Germany, before he plays for Chelsea. So that begs a big question as to why give a long contract to a player who is not looking that good. Maybe give him a 3-year contract, which I have seen for many players have been dished out for the last 15 years, 20 years. 3-year contract, possible extension of 1 year, and if he does well in 3 years, 4 years, maybe a 4-year contract rather than 7. Cut it down to half. So in 7, half is 3.5. So give him a 3-year contract, maybe a 3.5-year contract, 4-year contract. I think it sounds good, but Bowley, with his American businessman kind of thing, it will take him time to understand. Now, the whole hate that Mason Mount gets with this contract thing is Mason's performance is not good on the field. I feel that a football player, and this is old school thinking, should make all the points or all his talking on the pitch, not outside the pitch, not on social media. But a lot of journalists and a lot of people talk on behalf of Mason Mount as if like Mason Mount himself talking, which he is not. He is not talking on. But some people are making it look like that and gives him even bad when his performance. So like if your performance is not good and then people are still defending you, you will get a lot of hate. And that's what's happening in social media. And this the journalists who are still supporting or still say good things about Mason should stop. They should not say anything in that matter. Should not say negative, should not say positive, because the performance has not been good. And you suddenly see this guy still getting praised or still seeing positive things being told about him. People are certainly, because people are not blind, right? The people can see how his performance is. You cannot just go ahead and tell him, no, he is doing well, he has been going through this and that. Will not actually help the issue. Is people are going to get, he's going to get more hate from the people. So these journalists need to think about that before doing the PR game. And many people say in social media that Mason Mount has an amazing PR, and that is the real thing which is working for him. But I, for one, really believe that the guy is really talented. I hope he doesn't end up being a Dele Alli. And I believe that the people who are talking on behalf of him need to think a little bit about it, that his performance has been appalling. He is not playing that well. He hardly scores goals against the top 6. So when you have a player like that, why you're defending them in social media? Don't defend him. Try to be constructive criticism. Obviously, many people who say wrong things of Mason, they go beyond and they say a lot of junk, a lot of things which should not be said at the same time, which is agreeable. But at I feel that maybe overall, as long as Mason needs to get his sort together, which I'm pretty sure he's doing. He's working really hard behind the scenes and takes it seriously that his performance is not. But there is always a thing called a denial stage. I feel Dele Alli might have gone through that, where he doesn't really feel that he's out of form. He really feels that he can do a great thing. He just keeps on blaming other things like the coach, maybe these facilities, the areas, his personal life. I don't think Mason is in that level at this moment where he's thinking like that. But you need to look as to why he can't score goals, why he can't score goals against top 6 sides, why he can only score goals in the bottom 5 or about relegation teams. What is his game that he needs to change or improve to get him a better contract, to get him like the likes of Real Madrid, like for Reece James. Real Madrid came in for him. Obviously he didn't go, which is great news for Chelsea. He needs to look into that, and possibly hate will go down on him if he performs on the field, which is not happening. It seems to be that he's playing, but he's not getting that. Obviously he got an assist in that match against, I think, Iran again. So that's the main reason why he gets so much of hate, and why, now we'll talk about ZH and Pulisic, who has been very good. This is the other reason why he gets a lot of hate. Again, something Mason Mount doesn't do it himself, is the managers tend to pick him up. Like in England, Foden versus Mount, and somehow people think Foden is a better player. Some people think that's not the right thing. Mason is a better player. But Foden doesn't get picked up, but it's just for England. If you look at Chelsea point of view, you have players like Pulisic, you have ZH. They're playing pretty well for their country. In the World Cup, we are seeing that. But they didn't hardly get picked by Tuchel in the last 6 months. Maybe Tuchel fell apart with these boys, and he lost the dressing room. But even if you look at Potter, he's not selecting any of these guys for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Pulisic, I guess, played the last match against Newcastle. He started at the beginning of the second half on the 45th minute. And that's it. ZH might have come in the last 10-15 minutes, but they didn't get a run of matches. When you see not just Mason Mount, Kai Havertz also, even Sterling as well, not performing. The managers are also at fault. Someone like Evan Potter in that matter. That why don't you have a plan B? Why don't you have a way of thinking that why not I give Pulisic a chance? Let him play 3-4 matches on the trot. Let ZH play 3-4 matches. Let them get that. That's what actual coaching is all about. I was not a coach. These guys are professional coaches, but they need to look into this. Like, why can't I sit and talk with ZH personally or Pulisic personally and see why can't I get the best out of them? Being a coach, the greatest contribution of a coach is to get the best out of his players. Now, if the players are not happy, if the players are leaving, you might be a professional coach, you might be a coach of a big club. Doesn't bring the best out of you. It doesn't show that you are a great coach. You need to bring the best out of a player. That's what Jose Mourinho used to do. That's what Tuchel did. When Frank got sacked, that team really sucked. Jorginho was out, Kovacic was out, Rudiger was out of favor. He brought in these players, brought the best out of them, and won the Champions League. Obviously, Mason Mount was part of it, and Havertz was there. So I guess there is, a number of points which leading to Mason Mount's hate online. Obviously, the PR that is hating him. His performance himself is getting him a lot of hate, and the selection of these managers, always selecting him when you have other players in the team who can also perform, is also a reason for him getting so much of hate. I think when it comes to the contract thing, I don't think he should be given a long contract. Look for a 3-4 year contract. I don't think Todd Bowley's going to watch this video. And maybe something 200k is good enough. I don't know if Mason is going to accept that. But I think that's a win-win situation for both, because you don't want to sit with 7 years. If he gets a long injury or if he loses his form, you will not be able to sell him. As simple as that. So it would not make any sense. Spurs have been lucky to let go of Dele Alli, because Dele Alli wouldn't even make it to the Everton team. I don't know if he's getting into the Turkish team, whichever he went. I think Galatasaray. So anyways, you guys let me know in the comment section of why Mason Mount gets so much of hate. What you guys think Mason Mount as a player? You like him, you don't like him? Just let me know in the comment section. We'll see you in a different video in a different date. So till now, bye bye guys.